similar to the idea of fana of the Sufis. What does it mean? Self-annihilation, passing away. The Sufis also got the idea of pacification from Buddhism, Jainism, and Christianity as well. The Sufis, the Samar, the Sufi music, it had no sanction in the Quran. But the Sufis are fond of Sama music. Perhaps it was imbibed from Kirtana of the Vaishnavas. But there is a difference of opinion. I'm not entering into this, but my focus is very clear how this assimilation was taken place. So, you cannot bow down your head before anybody in Islam. But here, if you go to any khanka of a Peer, the followers, the disciple, they touch the feet of the Peer, the spiritual guide. And Guru Chala relationship of the Hindus, particularly Vaishnavas, is very closer with the Guru Chala relation of the Muslim, Murid, with his teacher. Okay? So these are the things which are very similar with Indian ideology. So the Sufis, particularly the name of Darashiko, the prince, who wrote a book, Majma'ul Baharain, the meeting of two oceans. Here he focused the unity between Hinduism and Sufism. He has also written another book, Siri Akbar, the secret of the truth. Here also he talks about the spirituality of both the religions. So Sufis, the Peers, they played very significant role that we have noticed all over the country till date. One medieval Bengali poet, he says, Hindu devota hoilo Musalmaner Peer, dui kule loi puja hoiya jahe. That means the Peer of the Muslims became the god of the Hindus. They are manifested and worshipped by both the communities. So that is the contribution of the Peer and the Sufis. Now come to the contribution of the Vaishnavas, contribution of the Bhakti movement. There are three paths for salvation in Hinduism: Jnana, Karma, and Bhakti. Shankaracharya gave emphasis on Jnana, that means knowledge. Swami Vivekananda gave emphasis on Karma, that means work is worship. And Vaishnava saints, they emphasize Bhakti, that means devotional love. So when Shankaracharya's idea of Jnana failed to attract the people, at that time Vaishnavism came forward with their devotion. And they tried to attract the people for salvation. Actually, devotion is very important almost in every religion. Perhaps some of you are from English literature. In my college life, I read one poem of John Milton. When John Milton became blind, before his middle age, that means at the age of 45. And he composed a poem on his blindness because he was very sad that he was unable to compose poems. He was unable to use his poetic talent because of his blindness. That is why, addressing to the God, he composed a poem on his blindness. And here he says, very, very significantly, God does not require man's service, but God requires man's devotion, implicit faith, and humble submission. We can serve God, not by doing something, but being something for Him. So that is the essence of devotion. But this movement, actually the idea of devotion, bhakti, you can find in Bhagavad Gita also, but at the time it did not appear as a movement. It became a movement from 7th century in South India. From South India, it came to West India. From West India, it reached to Northern India. And from Northern India, it came to the Eastern India. So this movement influenced the entire community, entire Indian society and culture very much. And you will be surprised to know that you all know that when Islam came, many people embrace Islam. They are converted. I'm not going to talk about the all means of conversion because we have very limited time. But many people accepted Islam voluntarily out of gain and greed. That is accepted on all hands. So whatever this movement took place and they conquered, even when Vaishnava movement was reached at the zenith in the 16th century under the leadership of Kabir, Nanak and Chaitanya. All were born in the 15th century and movement reached at the height in the 16th century. Other Vaishnava, other Bhakti, Panthi sadhus, sons, they also played their role as per their capacity and ability. But Indian people responded to their call. And you know, Kabir, he tried sincerely to develop human relationship. He was the worshipper of humanity. He tried to bring all people under one umbrella. Guru Nanak, he was a very, very devotional saint. He was a bhakti sadhak. But in course of time, his follower introduced religion, Sikhism. And Sikhism was the combination of the ideas of Islam and Hinduism. And it's a very, very liberal idea Guru Nanak adopted in his Tripitak, in his Guru Granth Sahib book. And he was adored and admired by all the people, irrespective caste, color, gender, religion, etc., etc. That is why it is said, Guru Nanak, Hindu ka Guru और मुसलमान का पीर. Guru Nanak Shah Fakir, Hindu ka Guru or Musalman ka Peer. So you can easily understand his acceptance in the society. And Chaitanya, he was a devotional saint who was very much guided by devotion. His forefathers are from Sylhet of today's Bangladesh. He was born in Navadvip of Bengal. He practically brought revolution in Bengal. And almost all the communities of at that time Bengal responded to the call of Chaitanya. And Chaitanya movement stopped the conversion to Islam quite for some time. Even some of the Muslims were also converted to Vaishnavism at that time. Even, Jabon Haridas, his name is Haridas Thakur. He was a Muslim. He was one of the right-hand persons of Chaitanya who spread this movement. And some members of the royal house also accepted on Bizli Khan, I know. But the most interesting thing is this, that a number of Muslim poets at the time were very much inclined with Vaishnavism. They are very much influenced by the idea of Vaishnavism. But there is no proof in our hand that they are converted to Vaishnavism or Hinduism. But they compose poems on Bhakti cult, on Vaishnavism. In my research, I have found 162 Muslim poets who composed 900 verses on Vaishnavism out of influence of Chaitanya movement in Bengal. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3 examples. What was the theme of their poems? Hasan Raja, a poem of undivided Bengal. He wrote জন্ম নিয়া মুসলমানে বঞ্চিত হব শ্রীচরণে মনে ভাবি না একবার তা এবার লাল মামুদে হরে কৃষ্ণ নাম করেছে সার সরি দিস ইজ দ্য পোয়েম অফ লাল মামুদ সো জন্ম নিয়া মুসলমানে বঞ্চিত হব শ্রীচরণে মনে ভাবি না একবার তাই এবার লাল মামুদে হরে কৃষ্ণ নাম করেছে he said being born as a Muslim I don't think that I shall be unable to touch the feet of gurus. That means Krishna. So it was his bewilderment. And now I have mentioned the name of Hasan Raja. He says, আমি তোমার কাঙালিনী গো আমি তোমার কাঙালিনী ও আমার সুন্দরী রাধা তোমার লাগিয়া কান্দিয়া ফিরে বাঙালি হাসান রাজা What does it mean? It means I long for you, I long for you, oh my beautiful Radha. Bengali Hasan Raja is roaming with tears for you. There was another gentleman named Chan Kaji. He composed a poem and said, Bashi Shuni Jhuri Muri, Jimuna Jimuna Ami Na Dekile Hori. Hearing the flute of Krishna, I can restrain my tears. So you can understand the impact and influence of Vaishnava movement in Bengal for cultural pluralism, for syncretism. So it was a unique example what we have noticed in the history. And out of Sufi movement, out of Vaishnava movement, a movement started in India named Kotta Bhaja movement. And they adopted so many ideas from Islam as well as Hinduism. Even they consider Friday as the day of prayer. They have taken this idea from Islam. Even they also respected the idea of the Hindus. So on Thursday, they ban meat. And there are so many similarities between the Islam, Hinduism, and some folk cultures in Kotta Bhaja religion. Aul Chan, a man, he was the founder of this group, but he has so many Muslim followers and they became the head of the Kotta Bhaja group in course of time. So that is very, very important. And you know, they got the idea of humanism from Vaishnavas. How they have got, because in the 16th century Vaishnava, you know, famous Vaishnava poets, one of them said, সবার উপরে মানুষ সত্য তাহার উপরে নাই. Human is above all everything, and there is nothing beyond it. So the Vaishnava Kavi Chandidas says this thing. So they are enlightened and guided by this idea. And this group serve the humanity. And you know, Shahojia and Baul are also the offshoot of this group. And they also tried to cement relationship. They talk about humanity. They preach the mission of humanity everywhere. And you know, there is another group, perhaps those who are from Odisha, Bengal, Bihar, they know, that is called Potua community. Potua means scroll painter. They used to paint the gods and goddess on earlier paper, thereafter clothes. And they used to sing door to door, collect money for their livelihood. They are neither Muslims nor Hindus. They practice both the religion according to their own choice. They never prayed 5 times namaz in a day, but they used to go. But they used to go. Where did they go? To the mosque on Friday prayer. They never worship God and goddess, but they worship Vishwakarma. They worship Vishwakarma. Have you got my point? Actually, and they have adopted the Muslim custom to get married to the cousins. Even they never cremate their dead bodies. They buried the dead bodies. But most important thing is this, that before putting the body to the grave, like the Hindus, Mukhagni, they observe singeing to the dead body. You can easily understand what is the practice of them. So these people, even they had a different name. In the Muslim locality, suppose they write their name as Joinal. In the Hindu locality, they say their name is Jyotindranath. So like this community, actually, it fought against communalism. And there was no idea of communalism in medieval period. Communalism is idea of colonial period, and it is growing. Particularly, it's an urban idea, keep in mind, not in the village. And folk Islam. Folk Islam is different than the practicing Islam, which are practiced in mosques, in madrasas. What is that folk Islam? Suppose it is easy to change the religion, but it is not so easy to change the way of life. So they are unable to change actually the old habits, old practice. Those who are converted to Islam, these people accepted Islam for various reasons, but they did not give up their old practice, old habits. As for example, I'm telling you, marriage. In Islam, it is clearly mentioned that a Muslim can get married to Ahl Kitab, to a person of Ahl Kitab. That means those who got revelation of God. That means Christianity and Judaism. It is clearly mentioned in the Quran. But it is not mentioned in Hinduism. About the Hindu, Quran does not mention anything. But there is a way to interpret. But whenever marriage took place, even Abdul Rahim Bijapur also wrote something about the interaction of the cultural fusion in the country. Who may have looked his book. And in this marriage, it was not restricted to the royal court. You all know that Alauddin Khalji, Akbar, Jahangir, they had Hindu wives. In Bengal, Ilyas Shah had the Hindu wives. And so many marriages took place between the Hindus and the Muslims in Bengal. But most important thing, there is a verse, there is a record in Bengali literature that they did not bother for conversion also. One such verse is like this, Kaji Saji Shigro Ashi Sora Parailo Boshi Mone Bhabi Prabhu Korotaro. That means the Kaji came to solemnize the marriage without bothering whether conversion took place or not. So that we have noticed of marriage, inter-caste, inter-community marriage, developed the relationship that took place from the very beginning in the Muslim rule in this country. Even during the time of marriage, some rituals. Islam is very simple. Dowry is forbidden, but mohur is there. But out of Indian influence, dowry system was also introduced. Mughal governor Usman gave 40,000 rupees during the time of marriage, but instead of giving money to boy, it should be given to the girl. That means groom. So it is a reverse side here we have seen. So, and so many custom exchanging the garlands, etc. It has no sanction in Islam, but it is practiced in the country. And another thing I would like to highlight, our literature. Our literature, which is very, very important literature. Like I'm unable to talk about all the literatures of the country, like Maratha Bakhar, like Rajput Bards, Ahom's Brunji, but I can talk on many things. Particularly, I can talk on Hindi literature, Bengali literature, and Urdu literature. Literature portrays the picture of the society. If you go through the contemporary history books, history chronicles, you hardly find the elements of society and culture. But our literature help us to know the society, because literature is the mirror of the society. It portrays the picture of the society as well. So let's come to talk about the Urdu literature. The Urdu words emerge as the best representative of our integrated culture. Urdu, it was the language of the camp, it was the language of the market. It came into being in the scene in the Middle Age of India, and it was born out of Horiani, Kharibali, Punjabi, Dakhini, Sindhi, and Perso Arabic. For the benefit of this thing, actually, I'm very much disturbed again and again by so many calls. That is why I became absent-minded. However, so what we have noticed, all the literatures in Bengali literature, Middle Ages, that is the Mongol Kavyas, Vaishnava literature, translated literature, and the Romantic literature created by the Muslims. So I am going to give you an example of this type of literature and Puthi literature as well. One, two example. I think I have still time to talk. So you see what is the most important thing again that I am going to tell you, that as for example, Annoda Mongol Kavya. In Annoda Mongol Kavya, it was written by Bharat Chandra Rai Gunakar, who was the court poet of Maharaja Krishna Chandra Rai of Nadia in the 18th century. In his literature, he arranged a debate between Emperor Jahangir and Bhavananda Majumdar, ancestor of Maharaja. And Maharaja was criticizing Islam vehemently. On the other hand, Jahangir was vilifying Hinduism. The poet came to the final conclusion. He says, you can argue for argument's sake, but if you argue on any topic, you can put logic in favor of the argument, in favor of the motion, you can give argument against the motion. But unfortunately, truth is in one side. So how was the solution? He said, Hindu, Musalman, আদি জীবজন্তু যত ঈশ্বর সবার এক না হয় দুই মতো পুরাণের মত ছাড়া কোরআনে কি আছে ভেবে দেখো হিন্দু মুসলমান পাশে actually he says the Hindus, the Muslims, and all the early creatures are not different. They are the same. There is no difference between Puran and Quran. So this is the thing that we have noticed here. Even there is another folk literature. I'm giving another example. That was the Nurul Rehman Dept. It's a folk literature collected by Dinesh Chandra Sen. And he says, about the human relation, particularly Hindu-Muslim relation, which is really, really very touching on. হিন্দু আর মুসলমান একই পিণ্ডের দড়ি, কেহ বলে আল্লাহ রসুল, কেহ বলে হরি, বিসমিল্লাহর সি বিস্তু একই গোয়ান, দোফাঁক করে দাও রাম এবং রহমান। That means the Hindus and the Muslims are the same products of a bundle of thread. Some say Allah Rasul, some say Hori. There is no difference between Bismillah and Sibistu. So this is the topic. So come to the Urdu again. What I have said, Urdu literature was created out of fusion that I have told you. And the Urdu poets, they tried to focus many things for human relationship. Mirza Ghalib, Asadullah Khan Ghalib, Iqbal. But I'm quoting two poets. On Sauda, he says, Garaj kufur se kuch nahi deen se hai. Tamosi deho haram dekhta hai. Infidelity and faith, that means Hinduism and Islam, that do not concern each other. We look upon a spectacle of both the sacred and the profane. And artist, another Urdu poet, he says, but kahane tara daliye, masjid ko dhariye, dil ko nyay toriye, ye khuda ka mukam hai. When break the temples and uproot the mosques, but don't break anyone's heart, for that in the abode of God. So this is the thing. And Hindi literature, Amir Khusro is the champion of Hindi literature. He was asked why you are fond of Hindi literature. He says it's a very easy and simple language. I can express all my feeling through this language. That is why I try to write and make people read. Sufi Girls Daraj, he also loved to write and speak in Hindi. So these languages also bind people. Suppose whenever a Hindi-speaking people go somewhere, he may find out somebody Hindi people. Because language is very powerful and language ties people with each other. So this is also very, very important aspect that we are to take. Actually, now I would like to say, actually, the social relation becomes very true, very correct, and very harmonious whenever the state policy is harmonious. And if the state policy patronize inequality, quarrel, disharmony, then it affects also society. But if you see the political sky of medieval India, right from Sultan Iltutmish, Ghiyasuddin Balban, Alauddin Khalji, then Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and in Mughal period, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, etc. Dara Shikoh, you can see. What we have seen, I'm giving you one example. Actually, once Qazi Mughisuddin Bayana, the chief Qazi of Delhi, came to Alauddin Khilji and told the Hindu businessmen should be punished. You should do something and try to rule the country according to the Shariat law. Alauddin said, I do not know whether this is lawful or unlawful. Whatever I think to be good for the state and suitable for the emergency, that I decree. And as for what may happen to me on the approaching day of judgment, that I know not. So you can understand correctly that Sultan did not favor the Qazi of the state. He did not follow Shariat law. He was a pragmatic ruler. He said he would rule the country according to the need of the hour. So he did that. And Akbar, I don't like to talk much about Akbar because Akbar did lot of things. His Deen Ilahi, his Sulhi Kul, he introduced everything. He honored his Hindu wives. He allowed them to do worship in their own way. Jahangir was the son of a Hindu mother. Shah Jahan was like that. So the Mughal culture was not Muslim culture. It was the admixture of various group of Indian culture. They tried to. They considered their land. They considered India as their utan, their homeland. That is why when Bahadur Shah was exiled in Burma, he said, "So unfortunate I am. I was the emperor of the Mughal Empire. But at the time of my death, I don't get a land for my burial here. So unfortunate." And this train of unity, amity, peace, and harmony continued in our country. You know, Thakur Ramkrishna Paramahamsa Dev, he says, as many opinions, so many ways. He was a man who believed in pluralism, and he preached the mission of pluralism. He worshipped in the way of all religions, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, obviously Hinduism, there is no doubt about it. That we have noticed. Even Raja Ram Mohan Rai, who was the father of modern India, who was the father of Indian Renaissance, he wrote book in Arabic, in Persian, in English, in Bengali, and that was very important. That talk about that. And Raja Ram Mohan Rai played very significant role for developing the relationship. Even he pleaded in favor of Mughal Emperor Second Akbar in the British Parliament. So he was such a human being. He did it. Swami Vivekananda also delivered lecture on Muhammad once, and he said, "Oh, my Hindu brothers, why are you criticizing? Oh, my Hindu brother, why are you criticizing Prophet Muhammad for his many wives? He was a great man. He was prophet. He was the messenger of God. He could get 300 wives, but I don't allow a man like you to get a single wife because you do not know the sanctity of marriage." And he also said that Muhammad was the first man who preached equality among the people, among the men. So I salute him for his unquestionable love of humanity. So this legacy is also continuing in our country. And if you visit Bengal today, though at present situation, the environment is little bit vitiated, but still you can find that people are living together happily, peacefully. And togetherness is happiness. It is their belief. And they do this. So all these things, seeing all these things, I can say Tagore wrote once very famous line. I'm not going to read the Bengali version because it is a passage. So I say in English, because he was the observant who looked at the picture of India throughout the Middle Ages. And he said the unique endeavor of India had always been the establishment of unity amidst diversity, directing various roadways towards a same objective, and to realize and feel doubtless by the unity amongst multiplicity as its innermost appreciation from outside, and to discover the deeper link inherent in it without destroying them. India never discards anything but makes everything her very own by accepting everything. So this is my view also, that medieval period witness peace, happiness, prosperity, amicable relationship among the people, irrespective caste, creed, and religion. So I stop here. I think you have some time for discussion. So you are welcome. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Please. You don't have any question? Any observation, any comment? Noon Shah?
सर आपने एक सवाल है मेरा कि आपने मेडिवल पीरियड में मुगलों के ज्यादा
Your sound is very low. Please make the sound.
कुछ और लोगों का ऑन है इसलिए आवाज नहीं आ रही है, कुछ और अनम्यूट है इसलिए आवाज साफ नहीं आ रही है। प्लीज अजीजुर रहमान साहब अपने आप को म्यूट कर लें।
Shall I wind up or shall I say something more?
अजीजुर रहमान साहब अपने आप को म्यूट कर लें प्लीज।
एक एक करके सवाल पूछे सवाल एक एक करके।
अजीजुर रहमान साहब खुद को म्यूट कर लें प्लीज।
I am muting him. आप परेशान ना हो, मैंने म्यूट कर दिया उनको।
मेरा सवाल ये था सर कि आपने
जी
आपके, क्योंकि मैं हिंदी में सवाल कर रहा हूँ सर, आप जवाब इंग्लिश में दे सकते, कोई दिक्कत नहीं ना? आप सर आप खुद को अनम्यूट कर लें, आप खुद को अनम्यूट कर लें।
आप अनम्यूट
है।
प्रोफेसर साहब अनम्यूट कर लीजिए। हाँ आप सवाल पूछ लीजिए। वो
मेरा सवाल ये था सर कि आपके गुफ्तगू का जो मरकज था, यानी आप सेंट्रलाइज थे मुगलों के ऊपर।
सर अभी अनम्यूट है।
नहीं मैं अभी सवाल कर लूँ उसके बाद वो खुद को अनम्यूट करेंगे। तो आपने मुगलों के ऊपर ज्यादा गुफ्तगू की, मुगलों के ऊपर ज्यादा बात की, और यानी मुगल पीरियड, मुगल एरा के ऊपर। क्या साउथ इंडिया और इधर आप वेस्ट में चले हैं, मराठा जो पूरा का पूरा रिजीम था, वहां के मुतालिक कुछ बताएं कि उन लोगों का क्या नजरिया था। उन लोगों का जो कल्चरिज्म की बात होती है, जिसको हम लोग प्लुरलिज्म कहते हैं कल्चर में, तो वहां क्या रवैया था, वहां के राजा थे, खास तौर से मराठों के ताल्लुक से और राजपूतों के ताल्लुक से मेरा सवाल है।
Thank you very much for your question. Actually, the art is long and time is fleeting. I am giving 1 hour to deliver lectures. So I have given an outline of the entire thing. I have a book on Hindu-Muslim relations in Mughal Bengal. It is a published one. I have discussed everything. And you know, as Rahim Sahib says, Northeastern history is a neglected preach. Even few years back, it was neglected in South India as well. And you know, Tipu Sultan, who fought against the Britishers, Hyder Ali, if you see their army organization, if you see their bureaucracy, then you can find it was filled up by a number of Hindus. And they tried to preach the mission, because in Islam, they are the follower of Islam. And if you go through the Quran, Quran clearly says, Lakum dinokum waliya din. To you, your religion, to me, my religion. Quran further says, there is no compulsion in religion, la ikraha fid din. So that is the thing, that is why the religious-minded people, the secular-minded people, tried to see the welfare of the country. Even the Hyderabad Nizams, we have noticed they had an extensive contribution. I am in Hyderabad at present, from where I am delivering lecture. And if you, I do not know, I have not also studied much about the South Indian history. My domain is Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha, because I work on undivided Bengal. But as a student of history, we have to look at things from here and there. So South India is till today is the truest example of mingling people together with perfect amity and harmony. So that legacy is continuing, what was established by the rulers here. That is my answer. Next.
Sir, I want to tell you something.
Yes, Tanika Choudhury, yes.
Sir, my PhD topic is Sufism in Bengali literature, and I am very much happy for today's session.
Okay.
And this is very informative, and I have enriched myself. Please
go through my book, Hindu-Muslim Relations in Mughal Bengal.
Okay,
it is
sir.
published from Progressive Publisher, Kolkata.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
मेरा सर सवाल है सर मेरा एक सवाल है जी सर। मेरा एक सवाल है सर
Yes, yes.
कि मुगल पीरियड में
Uh-huh.
हिंदुओं और मुस्लिमों के बीच कैसा संबंध था?
It was very good, very amicable sambandh. I have done PhD on it,
जी जी
and the book is published.
जी जी
Because the government
यस यस
took interest to safeguard the
यस सर
non-Muslims.
यस सर
Even in my class 3, I have not seen any book. I'm giving you one example. One day, some Englishman, the Christian, they insulted the Holy Quran. Akbar's mother, Hamida Banu, complained to his son, you are the emperor of the country and Quran is insulted by the Firingis, Britishers. Do something, insult their Bible.
जी जी सर
Akbar says, Ma, হিংসার দ্বারা হিংসা দূর করা যায় না। Violence cannot be removed by violence. প্রেমের দ্বারা জয় করতে হয়। You have to overcome it through love.
यस सर
So I will punish the culprits, not the
Yes, sir.
holy scriptures. So
Yes,
it was
sir.
the attitude of the Mughal emperor.
यस सर
Most of the cases.
Yes,
One,
sir.
two stray incident you may observe, but exception is not the rule.
यस सर
Dr. Ramendra Kumar.
जी जी यस सर थैंक यू सर
Sir, I have a question.
Please,
Sir,
please.
there is a popular narrative in India that Islam spread in India with the force. People were converted on the point of sword. So, what is your opinion, sir? What is your
Actually, there are
no evidence.
so many factors for conversion. Sword theory is one of the theory put forward by Richard Eaton in his The Rise of Islam and Bengal Frontier. But patronage theory is most important because I told many of the Brahmins, the upper caste Hindus, they embrace Islam out of gain and greed. And the mass people voluntarily accepted Islam to be free from the bondage of casteism.
See, it is a it is a common sense that if sword was used and force was used to convert the majority community Hindus to Islam, the entire India would have become Muslim.
That's true.
Because at the time of 1947, Muslims were only 1/3 of India's population. 2/3 was Hindus. And it never became a Muslim-dominated state. And Sharia was never made as the, law for India, for all the communities. For other communities, Islamic law was not imposed. Religious pluralism existed, that is, family-based laws, Hindu law, marriage, divorce, inheritance, succession, were all based on different religions for different people. Hindu Marriage Act was there. The Muslim rulers did not interfere in the religion-based laws of marriage, divorce, inheritance, succession, adoption. So that is a kind of, you can say, secularism. Somebody had asked a question about South India. I am from South India. I am from Bijapur. Bijapur was one of the 5 kingdoms. Adil Shah was one of the 5 Bahmani kingdoms. Our ruler was very secular, and he was playing music. Adil Shah used to start music festival with the recitation of the verses from Hindu scriptures, not from Islamic law. And Hyder Ali from Tipu Sultan and Hyder Ali from Mysuru state, they gave a lot of grants to Hindu temples. Aurangzeb gave a lot of grants and maintenance grants to Hindu temple. Such good examples also are existing. The culture influences. For example, the Bengali Muslim women all wear saris and wear bindi on their head, forehead. सारी बंगाली औरतें आपने मुस्लिम औरतों को देखिए बिंदी लगाते हैं. ये नॉर्थ इंडिया में, यूपी में, बिहार में तो कहेगा अरे ये तो काफिर हो गए, यू नो।
सीमांचल में भी सर, सीमांचल में भी यही हाल है। सीमांचल में जो मुस्लिम,
because you see that is a culture of India, that has nothing to do with Islam. डुबकी लगाने से कोई इस्लाम खतरे में नहीं पड़ेगा।
Rohim Shah, you are very correct. I
हाँ।
took my wife in Aligarh Muslim University. I stayed there for 3
सर
months.
हम
My
सर
wife
शादी ब्याह में भी वही कल्चर है। शादी ब्याह में भी वही
Yes, those
कल्चर है।
people say, are you
Yes,
Hindu?
yeah.
She says, no, I am a human.
हाँ,
Neither
हाँ,
Hindu nor
हाँ।
Muslim. We are Bengali, and it is our practice. We do
You
it.
see, religion should be purely a personal matter, and inter-religious influence will be there. For example, if you see the Muslim marriages in South India, you will be surprised to know that Muslim women also wear a kind of Mangal Sutra in South India, in Karnataka, in Andhra Pradesh, in Hyderabad. You know, that is cultural influence. That is Hinduism's influence. Professor pointed out about dowry. Muslims are also following dowry. That has nothing to do with Islam. Islam prescribes dower, meher, dower, you know, a kind of money, protection money given by husband to wife. Husband has to give to the wife. Wife or wife's parents should not give any money to, you know, the prospective son-in-law. ये different system है, अलग-अलग system है, but there is an influence of each other on the communities, the practices. हाँ जी।
एक सवाल हमारी तरफ से है। आमतौर से जब हम बात करते हैं मुसलमान के अराइवल की इंडिया में, हम नॉर्दर्न इंडिया से अराइवल जो हुआ है, सेंट्रल एशिया से आए हुए हैं, वहां से हम शुरुआत करते हैं। जबकि मुस्लिम का अराइवल इंडिया में जो होता है वो प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के टाइम से ही हो गया था। राजा चेरामन, आप बहुत अच्छी तरह वाकिफ होंगे केरला फॉर 7 years and I taught at Malappuram center of the NEHU. So we have visited and we came to know, in fact, the Muslim did not came there as a trader, as a ruler. They came as a trader, and Islam used to be Indian shore as a we can say that it has been accepted by the Indian people by looking over the behavior of the trader. It was never came as a invading religion. But why we talk, once any scholar, any person who start his talk, he start that Muslim invader came from, and this gives impression that initial coming of India of the Muslim was as an invading class. That is my question also.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
Actually, there are 3 phases of Muslim conquest of India. The first phase was led by Muhammad bin Qasim in 712. That conquest was confined with Sindh, Lahore, Multan, but it did not affect all over the country. Number 1. Number 2, second phase, that was led by Sultan Mahmud. You know, Sultan Mahmud made 17 expeditions. His son Masood also tried to continue, but that also affect that region, what I have already mentioned. It did not affect the entire country. But the Turkish conquest, which took place in 1192, in course of time, that conquest affect all over the country. And whatever Mr. Gentleman already mentioned about the coming of the Muslims, actually in Bengal, they also came in the 8th century AD as traders, but we mention them as Arab traders, not Muslim traders. Okay, the name is Muslim. And how do we know? We know from the writing of the Arab geographers. Silsilatu Tawariq talk about their coming. There is another example, Arakan, today's Myanmar. They in their archives, we got a manuscript which talk about that some Arab vessels came to Chittagong port, and in connection with the trade and commerce. The third example is this, that Paharpur excavation of Rajshahi district of Bangladesh found a coin which was engraved, which was issued during the time of Harun al-Rashid, the 8th century Caliph of Islam. So in our region, in the eastern region, I can say the contact of the Arab Muslims with India from 8th century AD.
सर मेरा एक सवाल था, पूछ सकता हूँ?
हाँ पूछिए,
Yes, yes,
जरूर
Ratul
जरूर।
Goswami, yes.
Sir, what was the Hindu-Muslim cultures and relations like throughout Bangladesh after the Turkish invasion? And what are the effects still present?
Actually, Bangladesh means you talk about the geographical Bengal.
Yes.
That means
geography.
today, actually geographical Bengal's boundary little
Today's West Bengal.
United Bengal. That means today's Bangladesh, West Bengal,
West
some
Bengal.
part of Assam, some part of Bihar, some part of Odisha, and
Yes,
Tripura. It's a huge
Yes.
area.
Yes.
In the very beginning, I told you that actually how Islam became successful in Bengal. It is mentioned in the history that Muhammad Boktiar Khulji came with 17 horses and defeated the last Hindu king Lakhan Sen.
Yes.
Is it correct? Is it possible? Is it practical? No. Actually, at that time, there was a rivalry between the Brahminical Hinduism and Buddhism.
Yes.
The Buddhist bhikkhus played the role of agents of the Muslim. They played the role of the intermediaries of the Muslims. They helped the Muslims. And finally, they became successful. Hindu rule was gone forever. Muslim established their rule through conversion. Up to the first census, 1872, in first census, the Hindus were majority, Muslims are minority in undivided Bengal. But in 1891 census, Muslims are majority, Hindus are minority. And so Islam had huge, where there was not a single Muslim, the majority people became Muslim in course of time. So it is the huge impact in the society, in the culture, in the religion. You can find thousands of mosques, thousands of madrasas where Shariat Islam is practicing. Maulvis are giving fatwas. But Bengal is a land of syncretism. Hidayatul Mu'minin, Soed Ahmed of Raebareli, he had written an article named Hidayatul Mu'minin. Here he mentioned in Bengal, in India, especially Bengal, Islam and Kufr, that means Islam and Hinduism had been mixed up just like khichuri, hodgepodge. So you cannot identify who is a Muslim, who is a Hindu by their dress, by their foods. I'm very close with a Bengali Hindu. They may Pathan Muslims because culture, our language is same, our food is same, our environment is same, except religion. And I'm not a practicing Muslim.
You see, the conversion.
क्वेश्चन है
Just एक मिनट मैडम, ये जो कन्वर्शन हुआ इंडिया में towards some of the people, Hindus were attracted towards Islam, towards Christianity. ये lower caste वाले convert हुए, Sudras, outcasts, to escape from caste atrocities by higher caste Hindus. They thought, भैया इसमें इस्लाम में there is no discrimination. If you go to mosque, ये फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट और पहला जो बंदा आएगा वो फर्स्ट रो में रहेगा मॉस्क में. No privileged place. This was one reason why Islam was attracted for some oppressed people, lower caste people. Yes, please.
No, just I'm adding with the professor.
Sir, you
According
told
to
that
1872 census, yes, you will get chance. According to 1872 census, according to the population of undivided Bengal, those who are converted, 70% people are from low caste and 30% people are from high caste, the Brahmins and the Boidus, Kaisos, etc. And so you can easily see the deep pace of pace persecuted people out of casteism accepted Islam, and some people accepted out of love and greed, out of gain and greed. Some people, if you go through the writing of Sukumar Sen, Suniti Kumar Chatterjee said the first conversion took peacefully, not by force. Sukumar Sen also echoed the same voice. So conversion, you can read Eaton's book and my book. I have also dealt these things very aptly. You will be get benefited.
Richard Eaton has
Ikala Mahor, you have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you
So
also
what
say.
I'm telling, sir, you told about it was excellent lecture about the cultural mixing, especially throughout the periods. It is the great heritage of our India. You mentioned about Masud's invasion, Sultan Mahmud's invasion. So at that time also we only remember about the invasion. General people, it is said they attacked India 17 times and all these things. But at the same time, a Persian polymath Al-Biruni came with him and who gained the knowledge and interchanged the knowledge with it. He felt that knowledge is an international property, and he translated the Indian scriptures into Persian. And also, he felt that the Indian people should know about the Greek geometry, Greek science, and he translated all these things. He felt that he should give something for his Indian friends. That's how the culture developed. In fact, it was a very enriched lecture for which we felt that everything is same. Above all, everything is a humanity. So thank you very much.
So I want to add, Al
Yes, yes,
Mahmud,
please, please.
actually Al Beruni you are talking about. Al Beruni is a huge long name, Abu Rayhan Muhammad Ibn Ahmad Al Beruni.
Yes.
And he did not write in Persian, he wrote in Arabic. Kitab al Hind.
Kitabul Hind.
Kitab al Hind.
Book on
He
India.
was Arab and this book was written in Arabic, not in Persian.
No, sir,
Okay,
he was born in Persian in Kut region, but he loved Arabic. He felt that Arabic is the best medium to express his thoughts and things. But he originally was a Persian.
No, I'm not talking about the book is written in Arabic. Keep in
Yes,
mind.
yes, the book was written in Arabic,
The
of
book
course.
is written in Arabic,
Yes.
and Jagdish Nayan Sarkar wrote an article, a journey from Al-Biruni to Akbar. Because all people, even Hiren Mukherjee, communist MP, former MP, he says a journey from Amir Khusru to Mirza Ghalib. Kazi Nazrul, all people, they talk about harmony and they practice harmony in their life. Suppose Kazi Nazrul Islam, he got married to a Hindu girl. And he says, Mora ek brinte duti kusum Hindu Musulman. Muslim jar noyan moni Hindu tapa. The Muslim is compared with the apple of the eyes and Hindu is alive. So they are same. He has contributed like this. Even Rabindranath Tagore wrote an essay, not essay, is short story, Musalmanir Golpo. And where he criticized the fanaticism of the Hindus, orthodoxy of the Hindus. I'm giving you one example here. Here a gang of dacoits looted a newly married bride with his palanquin. And he looted all the ornaments. The girl was weeping. The dacoit leader was Tomiz Khan. He said, "Can I send you to your father?" But he will not accept you. The girl said, "Okay, you can send." The Tomiz Khan said, "I am a brave man. I am courageous. A father cannot protect you and your father cannot fight against me. So I am taking you." Whenever the girl was placed before father, father did not accept the girl because girl is declared outcast. So Rabindranath Tagore, out of his imagination, gave married to the girl with his son. And they led a happy life. So that should be preached all over the country. But I told you art is long, time is fleeting. I was unable to cover all
In
the things.
Durasha also, Rabindranath's short story Durasha also, we have got the same tone.
Rabindranath was a universal poet. He was an internationalist. Now those who are hardcore communalists, they don't accept Rabindranath. in our country, you know very well. They don't accept Raja Ram Mohan Rai. They don't accept Subhash Chandra Purli because he Azad Hind Fauj and their contribution in the country. You know very well.
Rajaram
And Bengal
Mohan Rai
is the land of Renaissance. Bengal teach how to behave well, how to do good thing for the people, welfare for the people, right from Raja Ram Mohan Rai to Kazi Nazrul Islam.
हरजिंदर
हाँ जी
कौर।
सर, गुड मॉर्निंग सर। सर पंजाब से हूँ, तो मेरी मदर टंग जो है पंजाबी है। तो हमारे यहाँ मिडीवल पंजाब में आपको पता होगा कि पंजाबी जो है जो 2 स्क्रिप्ट में लिखी जाती है, गुरमुखी और शाहमुखी में। तो ये तो एक बहुत बड़ा एग्जाम्पल है जो हमारे कॉम्पोजिट कल्चर रहा है मिडीवल इंडिया में और मिडीवल पंजाब में। तो इस पे भी तो बहुत अच्छा रिसर्च भी हो सकता है। ये आपका लेक्चर सुना और बहुत इंसाइटफुल था, तो वहीं से मेरे मन में ये आइडिया आया कि इस पे भी काम किया जा सकता है।
You can carry on research in the context of undivided Punjab.
Manmohan Singh or Gyani Jail Singh used to write their Punjabi with Persian script, Urdu script. आज भी पाकिस्तान के पंजाबीज अपनी पंजाबी लैंग्वेज उर्दू स्क्रिप्ट में लिखते हैं। भाषा इज सेम, स्क्रिप्ट इज डिफरेंट। यू नो, दिस इज द ब्यूटी ऑफ लार्जर इंडिया। एक कम्युनिटी है कर्नाटक में, लिंगायत्स, दे आर वीरशैवीज। उन पे यू नो देयर वाज लॉट ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस ऑन दैट पीपल, लिंगायत्स, टू ऑफ इस्लाम. When a person, Lingayat person dies, he is not cremated. Like Muslims, he is buried. और वो अपने भगवान को, Lingayats, which is a very dominant community in Karnataka, वो कहते हैं अल्लामा प्रभु, अल्लाह प्लस प्रभु, अल्लामा प्रभु. You know, Lingayat is one community of Hinduism which believes in syncretism, respect for other religions, and they have a lot of mathas, and you know, they are for all, like Sufi saints. They are attracting people from different religions. So this is a kind of social federalism in India. About South India, if anybody wants to read, Richard Eaton also wrote on Sufis of Bijapur, actually published by Princeton University Press. तो इन्होंने हमारे प्रोफेसर साहब ने मेंशन किया रिचर्ड ईटन. ही डिड लॉट ऑफ वर्क ऑन सूफिज्म, बोथ नॉर्थ इंडिया, साउथ इंडिया, यू नो. दिस इज, आई थॉट वी शुड हैव वन टॉपिक ऑन cultural pluralism in India. And the first book written by Rajaram Mohan Rai was in Persian language. He was proficient in Persian. He was proficient in English. He was proficient in Bengali.
मैं इस पे काम करना चाहूंगी, आप चाहे तो मेरी मदद कर
I add to your point. Actually, you are very respectful of Punjabi culture.
Research paper लिखिए.
Culture, particularly your langar, which was introduced by the Sufis. But this legacy is continuing by the Sikhs. In the Langar Khana, they are offering food to everybody. Even few years back, I was in Delhi station. I met one Bengali rickshaw puller. I asked him, how do you maintain your livelihood here? He says, whatever I earn, and it is in my pocket. I stay in a Gurdwara. I take food from there. So I don't spend any money, what I earn. But I live my livelihood out of the contribution of the Sikhs community. Okay.
This Sikhism introduced a egalitarian system.
Sir, I have something to say.
This langar.
Yes, please.
Langar का जो system है, पूछिए.
Sir, I want to
add hand. You can.
Sir, I am Dr. Snigdhudeep Chakraborty, Assistant Professor of Bengali at College of West Bengal. Sir, I want to add something on the culture mixing. Firstly, you quote Atul Prasad Sen earlier in the class. I am adding something so that our non-Bengali and Indian attendees can easily recognize him. That Atul Prasad Sen resided in Lucknow of Uttar Pradesh amid the tenure of 1902 and to 1934. And he was a popular Bharat law of the Lucknow High Court. And he was elected as the president of Awadh Bar Council. and Out Blood Association during this time. However, musical gatherings were held in his bungalow, and Ahmad Khalif Khan, Ustad Barkat Ali Khan, Ustad Abdul Karim used to sing, used to go to there and to sing there. And Utul Prasad Sen is the introducer of Hindustani music in the Bengali song. And he first wrote Thumri in the language of Bengali, firstly. And then I want to say that I knew from a source Aryans who came across the river Sindhu, they couldn't pronounce S. And by their mispronunciation, S became H. They called Hindu. And the particular dwellers of the region became the Hindu. And I think that Hindu is a more race. The word Hindu taints more race than a religion. And that is why our former cabinet minister, former Justice of Bombay High Court, Muhammad Karim Chagla, who wrote an autobiography named Roses in December, he could easily write a line that I am a Muslim by birth and I am a Hindu by race. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I would like to add, your argument is well accepted and your introduction of Utul Prasad Sen. But Rabindranath Tagore told long before Muhammad Karim Chagla. You know, Rabindranath Tagore says that we are Hindu Muslim by religion, but we are Indian by culture. Okay? And Muhammad Karim Chagla, about whom you talk, he in one of his address, I say, whenever he was in England after the independence, one journalist asked him, Mr. Chagla, are you a Muslim? He did not reply. Second time he was asked, Mr. Chagla, are you a Muslim? He looked at the man, did not reply. Third time he was asked the same question by the journalist. Mr. Chagla, are you a Muslim? He was very annoyed. He took his comb, brushed his hair, and says, I am Muhammad Karim Chagla, Foreign Minister of India. We all are Indians practicing different religion. So that is Muhammad Karim Chagla. Actually, from Alexander to Babu, all talk about him. That means they mention the Indus Valley. Even if you go through the Tujuki Baburi, you can see the same word. But now this word is practiced in a different language. You know very well.
The word Hindu is a geographical, it is in a geographical connotation.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with religion.
Yeah.
If somebody says I am a Hindu, like if a Muslim says I am Hindu, means resident of that area, that geographical area. It has nothing to do with religion.
That is why Rabindranath says we are Hindus and Muslim by religion, but we are Indian in culture. Long before Rabindranath they would say.
सर
संजय कुमार जी
सर मेरा एक सवाल था जी। आपने बहुत अच्छे से बताया है कि कैसे एसिमिलेशन हुआ है, लेकिन 90s के बाद हम देख रहे हैं कि असल में हिंदी और उर्दू कहा जाता रहा है कि ये भाषाएं आपस में बहनें हैं, क्योंकि ग्रामर भी सेम है और उद्भव यही हुआ है। तो हिंदी में उर्दू शब्दों का इस्तेमाल बड़े पैमाने पे होता था और उर्दू में भी हिंदी शब्दों का बड़े पैमाने पे इस्तेमाल होता था। ये एक सर्टेन पीरियड के बाद ये कॉन्शस एफर्ट करके हिंदी से उर्दू शब्दों को निकाला गया और ठीक उसी तरीके से उर्दू से हिंदी शब्दों को निकाला गया। और हम ये देखते हैं कि ये फिर रिलीजियस लाइन पे ये कंसोलिडेट होना शुरू होता है। तो मैं यहाँ बस ये समझने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि आप अगर ये एड्रेस कर सकते हैं कि आखिर ये एसिमिलेशन 90s के बाद।
There are some answer. You see, if you go through the colonial period history, the Britisher introduced the policy divide and rule. And at that time they appointed historians. They patronized some of the historians to write history. So they tried to divide two people, the Hindus and the Muslim, in the name of religion for their administrative advantage purposes. And the government of India during the colonial period introduced so many acts: Act of 1909, Act of 1919, Act of 1935. These are all on the basis of religion, representation, community-wise representation. So these, at the time, the root of communalism are responsible for three things. Dayananda Saraswati raised a voice that the mother cows should be protected from the sharp knife of the Muslim butchers. So the Muslim sentiment was heard. Those who defray their livelihood on the basis of selling cow beef, those who are doing business trade with cows. So there was a misunderstanding between the two communities. Dayananda Saraswati's preaching is one of the factors. Number two, when right to self-determination of nation was given, local self-government was given by the Britisher to the Indians. At the time, what we have noticed, most of the cases the Hindus won the election because they are the majority. Muslims are minority. They thought if British Raj is gone, the Hindu Raj will be established and we will be in trouble. That is why a root of separatism was found for themselves. I don't know exactly when Muslim League was founded. Muslim League was founded for the benefit, for the welfare of the Muslim people, not for partition. But he raised the voice of partition in 1940, not before that. And at that time, communalism reached at the zenith. Even we are unable to protect Bengal also. Bengal was also partition. We are the worst sufferer, the Bengalis, the Punjabis. And Kashmir was not partition. It was occupied by them. They call it Azad Kashmir. We call it occupied Kashmir, whatever it may be. So the root of communalism was shown by the Britisher in the very beginning. They used some of the Indian people for their own purposes. And recent politics, I have no answer.
The politicians have created the divide in the name of the language, religion, etc. Languages actually organically grow. You can't manufacture a language. आज की जो हिंदी है उसमें जब न्यूज हम सुनते हैं तो न्यूज कम होती है और संस्कृत ज्यादा होता है. संस्कृत के वर्ड्स, संस्कृताइज्ड हिंदी. Why can't we speak Hindustani, which is a Bollywood language? Cultural influence always is there. The 16th and 17th century Marathi language had 40% Persian words. आज की मराठी जो है, today's 21st century की मराठी में भी 10% Persian words are there. That is the beauty. Like many Hindi words or Indian words have become part of English. Bazaar, jungle, these are English words now. In Oxford Dictionary in English, you can find these Indian words there. Coolie, for example, has become an English word. Languages keep growing, keeps dying. So one should not be too chauvinistic linguistically.
And Sanjay, I would like to add another sentence. At that time, there was a debate among the Hindus and the Muslims. What would be the national language when India will get independence? The Hindus wanted Hindi and Devanagari script. Hindi with Devanagari script. Muslim wanted Urdu with Perso-Arabic script. So this is also a bone of contention between the two communities, because at that time Muslim League was founded, Hindu Mahasabha was there, and their fuel oil there to create a communal environment in the country. And the secularist force, Gandhi, he said that India will be partitioned on my grave, on my tomb. That was not done. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan started crying. Bapuji, you have signed without consulting us. You have sent me to before the Nekre, before the tigers. Wolf, whatever you say. Nekre, what is the English word of Nekre bird? A kind of tiger, okay? So Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, he was the only non-Indian who became Bharat Ratna. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, he says, if any angel come down from the heaven and shouted from the Qutub Minar and tell me, take your independence, I will say no, until and unless the Hindu-Muslim relation is developed, the country is united, independence may be delayed, but unity cannot be delayed. We want to unity first, then partition or independence, whatever it may be. Okay?
Yeah, friends, we had a wonderful
Sir,
session.
I had a question.
Ji puchiye. Last question.
Last question, okay.
First of all, sir, good afternoon and assalamu alaikum, sir. I am also from West Bengal. Although my subject is not history, but what I see कि आजकल के टाइम पे हिस्ट्री का डिमांड बहुत ज्यादा हो गया है. हम जब पढ़ते थे तो उस टाइम पे हिस्ट्री को हमें we hated this kind of subject, but आजकल के because it is a debatable subject, तो जितना नहीं जानना था उससे ज्यादा जानने की कोशिश हो रही है. So my question is, sir, like there is a widespread belief that Shivaji Maharaj, he is deeply connected to Maharashtra and he is regarded as its savior. So, however, there are also claims that Shivaji looted Bengal. So, what is the truth behind this contrasting narratives? If you could just clear me out, sir. Thank you, sir.
Actually, there are different perspectives to look at things. Shivaji was a great nationalist, there is no doubt about it. And he was absolutely non-communal. There are so many people who work in his court who are Muslim, his soldiers, etc. And Shivaji did not attack Bengal. Borgi Hana, the Borgis attacked Bengal when Alibudi was the Nawab of Bengal. That is means 1740s. At that time, so many Borgis, that means Marathas, came and attacked Bengal. They looted things, and finally they were put down and they went back. If you look at Shivaji from Indian perspective, he was a great hero. He fought for his own land against the Mughal. And if you see the Mughal context, Kafi Khan described him as the mouse of the hill. So he hated. Actually, Aurangzeb was the emperor of all over the India. And he adopted guerrilla war. He did not fight Mughal face to face. He did the policy of guerrilla war, and he put trouble for them. He was arrested also. He was brought before Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb insulted him because he stood in the third queue to meet him. So whenever he left from Mughal court, he started his movement again. He had great respect for Islam. He had great respect for the women. He was not anti-Muslim, but he had love for the Maratha Empire. And he wanted to carve out Maratha Empire from the Mughals. Nothing more, nothing less.
Shivaji's father was an employee in Bijapur Adil Shah kingdom. And, that also helps him to develop the spirit of tolerance with other religious groups. As Professor Rehman said, he was a nationalist, Maratha Empire. In fact, the official language of Marathas was also Persian. Official language of Maratha government was Persian, not Marathi. Yeah, interesting. It's very interesting. Friends, we had a wonderful session. Now I request Mr. Sigdadeep Chakrabarti to propose vote of thanks to our today's resourceful person. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for giving me chance to propose vote of thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks on this auspicious session. Firstly, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our honorable resource person, Professor Nurul Rehman, sir. Resourceful person adopting the language of Professor Bijapur, sir, for his insightful and outstanding lecture on plurality of India. I wish to thank you, Professor Bijapur, sir, for your untiring efforts to make the session succeed and giving us your thought-provoking interviews. from the day one of the faculty induction program. I want to thank Madhav sir also for his acting behind the scene from the day one of FIP so far. And my sincere thanks go to our beloved attendees, except whose genuine participation and enthusiasm our sessions could not elevate to an extent. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your patient hearings. So shall I leave now?
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Rahman sir,
Thank you so much.
Nuka Chaudhary
Yes,
ji,
yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
across something.
yes sir.
Thank you,
Sir,
thank
can you please
Yeah.
tell me the name of your book again?
Hindu-Muslim relations in Mughal Bengal.
Thank you, sir.
Mughal Bengal. Yeah.
Mughal Bengal. So shall I leave now?
Yeah.
Do you
Thank
allow
you.
me?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Modernization came in India first in Bengal. जब तक कोई बंगाली कोई हमारा रिसोर्स पसंद ना हो तो हमारा कंप्लीट नहीं होगा सेशन, है ना?
जी सर।
कोई बंगाली रिसोर्स पसंद का होना I met him only once. मैं अभी this is my second time that I am meeting him. That is virtually. I met him in Shillong. Thank you, friends. 2-3 minutes are left. Then we can leave this meeting and then. बंगाली बोल रहा है।
उसकी बात से हट फंसना क्योंकि इसमें ये उसका आदमी है, ठीक है, ये उसका आदमी है, हमें मालूम ही नहीं। और जितना खेल खेला जाता था वो सब का जिम्मेदार मेरे कंधे पे। रहमान ने कहा
जेबा मैम के पास हुआ ये सब आने
नहीं, जो
पहले हुआ।
हाँ।
चलिए फ्रेंड्स, 3 मिनट रह गए, आप नेक्स्ट मीटिंग में ज्वाइन कर लीजिए।
सर एक क्वेश्चन है।
रिसोर्स पर्सन आ गए हैं सर मेरे पास।
हाँ साहब, अभी ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं जी, ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं मजहर साहब। हाँ जी।